in a few minutes. Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Lexa Peterson, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Warrant Officer Gerard Goff. We warmly welcome the family of Private Charles Henry Ingleton, whose story will be told shortly. This evening, we are honoured to acknowledge Miss Anne Gentay, member of the French National Assembly, accompanied by His Excellency Mr. Jean-Pierre Thibault, Ambassador of France to Australia. We warmly welcome representatives from the Pittwater Probus Club. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family, visitors to the memorial, and students on behalf of Windora State School from Windora, Queensland, Junda State School from Junda, Queensland, Stonehenge State School from Stonehenge, Queensland, Jericho State School from Jericho, Queensland, Matabara State School from Matabara, Queensland, and St James Primary School from Muswellbrook, New South Wales. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Students, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament. Flowers of the forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Charles Henry Ingleton. Charles Ingleton, known as Harry, was born in 1891 to Thomas and Sarah Ingleton of Horsham, Victoria. He was named for his paternal grandfather, Charles Ingleton, who ran away to sea from England at the age of 16, eventually settling in Victoria. Harry grew up on his father's property at Murrawarra near Horsham, was educated at the local school and went on to work as a farmer. One of 11 children, he was particularly close to his brothers Tom and Ern and a cousin, Will. Harry Ingleton enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force with Ern and Will in July 1915. They underwent a period of training in Australia before leaving with reinforcements to the 21st Battalion on board the troop ship Warrialda on the 8th of February 1916. Harry contracted measles on the troop ship, and Will and Ern went on without him. After a fortnight in hospital in Abbasia, Harry was discharged to a training battalion at Zaytun in Egypt. In late April 1916, he was transferred to the 57th Battalion and 2 months later was sent to France. The 57th Battalion had been in France a little over 2 weeks when it entered the front line near the French village of Fromelles. After a week spent in the forward trenches under artillery fire, the men were prepared to conduct an attack. The Battle of Fromelles was launched on the 19th of July, failing dismally and causing a shocking number of casualties among the men of the 5th Division. The 57th Battalion played a support role to the main attack, but suffered considerably. Private Harry Ingleton, however, never saw the battle. 2 days earlier, he had been hit in the back by a fragment of shell. Evacuated from the front line, he was sent to a series of hospitals, ending up in Ipswich, England. Paralysed by his wounds, Harry's condition deteriorated with inflammation of his spinal cord, and he died on the 24th of July 1916. Harry's brother Ern wrote home after hearing the news. "I just received the cable with the sad news of dear old Harry's death, but try and bear it, as thousands of others' homes are. You know what is to be will be, and all is for the best. You know he has given all for his king and country and hasn't died a coward. You know victories cannot be won without some mother's sons having to go, and it happened to be our turn this time. He went with a willing heart, prepared to lay down his life, same as we are, if need be, for the future welfare of those near and dear to us. Oh, this cruel war, what misery it has cost. But while I am spared, I will kill every German I laid hold of in revenge." Harry Ingleton was buried in the Ipswich Old Cemetery, where he lies today beneath the words from the hymn, "Led kindly light, with the morn angel faces smile, which we have loved and lost a while." He was 25 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Charles Henry Ingleton, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over, but in Australia they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support during the Memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.